needs for us to have a smaller working group and kind of get some comments from you all. We're happy to get that in advance also.
So actually have you come to the zoning and planning commission meeting?
Okay, we'll do that, and try to get you hard copies before then, so you have a chance to look at it and absorb it, and then you can get some comments, and we'll see how we can incorporate that in there. But we're very excited about the how the buildings are coming together. You know what? I think the commissioners can probably see it. The rest of the audience may not be able to. This is just a SketchUp model, quite frankly. So this is really work in progress, and this is coming from just a meeting that Joe and Robert Sponsauer had with Steve Kotak this afternoon, believe it or not. So it's a fluid motion, but Steve has been phenomenal. I think we've met with him 4 times, giving us good input. And it's not an historic building, but it's certainly in a historic district, and there's a sensitive tone. So you can see to the left are the existing row houses on 8th Street. And our plan was always to bring the form down and to make those feel like individual townhomes, and they will be, with 2 other forms kind of interlocking with the townhome bar. And Joe, do you want to walk them through it real quick?
Is that O Street over there?
Yes, you're looking right down
O
O Street.
Street and this is 8th Street.
Correct.
8th Street.
I'm sorry, I should have mentioned that.
Okay.
Yes, it's City Market. Sorry.
Mind scooting back? Oh, sure. I think.
Yeah, I'm kind of cord locked a little bit, so I'm sorry, everybody.
You can sit down.
The other thing that's important to note is that we made an agreement with the city that this will have 30% affordable. So 30% of the units are set aside for affordable housing. And that's roughly about 24 units. So that is part of the, and that's 50 and 80% of AMI, depending on, obviously, if they have other subsidies that go along with it. So the whole idea, and it's hard in this scale, obviously, in this image, but the whole idea is to lighten up some of the material, to introduce 3 distinct forms that feel like they interlock, and really articulate the building as opposed to having it feel like one vertical mass. So instead of, you go back to 8th Street view, so instead of pushing out to the edges, we've set significantly back and really wanted those townhouses to truly feel like they kept it in nature and the character of 8th Street. And then obviously as we get closer to O Street, which is more of a commercial street, we introduce more of its mass.
Is that because of the zoning that you,
No.
the lower?
No, it's just trying to be
8th
good
Street
neighbors
is
for you.
C2A.
It's actually no, this whole site is going. We're going under the comprehensive plan for C3
C2B.
C2B, and it's that step back is nothing to do with the zoning. It was just originally our plan was always that we felt like if we brought up a large mass next to the townhomes, then the rest of 8th Street would really lose its character. And in my opinion, it's one of those streets that it struggles a little bit because it doesn't go too far until you hit the back end of the convention center, and then the church is beautiful, but the church takes up a big part of that street. So some of that row house, small scale nature along Shaw would have been lost if we introduced a large mass along 8th Street. So we purposely decided to push back, and we're able to get our density still to work. Yes.
Have you? I know that you're just on the parking lot, and someone else is building on where the church is currently.
Correct.
Has there been any thought of how it doesn't look like? Obviously, it's a different. I've seen the architecture renderings for that building, and that's much more traditional. This is a more contemporary look. Have you thought about how the materials won't super? It's not going to be like a, black and white next to each other. So it's not some huge stark difference.
Well, we have reached out to the other developers, in particular because we want to coordinate the alley. We're contributing 5 feet on our side, and we're asking them to do the same, so the alley actually would work as a 20-foot alley, because right now it's a 10-foot alley.
Have they agreed to contribute that other 5 feet?
You've had the last conversation,
I have.
though.
Yeah, the architecture firm, right now they're going forward with proceeding with their PUD, and as part of that process, they're looking to set back 10 feet from the face of the alley, and that's really so they can get their vaults in there for PPQ, but also just kind of giving a more generous alleyway, so hopefully will allow us for two-directional traffic
they-
along that alley.
I think they will, and I think they see the need. We're both using the alleys to load the garages and to load and to deal with servicing. So it works so much better if it's 20 feet at least.
Will garbage pickup be in the alley?
Yes,
Yes.
everything, we like to tuck things away, as you know, in the city market, all everything's 2 levels below grade, and here, can't do that, but we like to tuck things away, we don't like to beat them in the face. And as it relates to the architecture, I'm not upset that there's different architecture structure, because
Yeah.
I think it's nice to see a collection of different forms and different architecture in a neighborhood. Obviously, Shaw grew up with lots of different colors and lots of different bricks and materials and precast and forms, and so I think it adds to the character.
And then how about timelines? Will you be building at the exact same time? How is that gonna impact?
I think they're ahead of us.
Yeah.
They're, I think, at least 6 months ahead of our schedule. They've already got HPRB approval. We had to wait for council, which took a while. So we're probably, I would say, 18 months away from being able to start construction due to the fact that it's going to take us a year to get through the process and then another 6 months to do the plans so we can start. If we can start earlier, we will. But they're going to be ahead of us.
You guys did a great job with engaging the community throughout the city market. Are these plans be on the web or the development as they progress?
Absolutely.
Good.
Same philosophy, same people. So.
How much control do you have over the streetscape of the curb, the tree boxes, etc.?
We will do our best with DDOT, as we did around O Street and on P and on 7th and so forth. We're actually going to be going back to them again because the plants they expected and survived. And we want to refurbish those plants on 7th Street. So we're going to be back to them, but you can see we're also introducing these front lawns to the townhouses, so we're helping create a little bit more of the landscaping. We're going to fight hard to be able to, because we think that's really important. So yes, I don't know how much influence I'll have, but I'll try.
Is there a chance that you can do the gutters so they feed into the tree boxes like in other neighborhoods? Is that?
Oh, well, like we did on down 8th Street. Our 8th Street actually is by retention where everything, all the runoff runs into, and then whatever it is, we take that piece to a cistern. I doubt they'll go for that on a public street. That's a private street, so I doubt they'll go to one. They'll probably want their granite curbs. So I don't think we're going to be successful there, unless they change their motion on this.
Last question.
Yeah.
Lighting.
Yeah.
It's still kind of a hard part of the neighborhood. And lighting will help.
Lighting well, but
Reduce
our plan is to introduce more lighting on there in that area. The other thing, as a follow-up, as a neighborhood, we've at O Street we have made a deal with Capital Shield, it's the program, Castle program, and we're introducing how many cameras, Brian? Yeah, so we're introducing 27 cameras that are feedable to the police. Some are actually going to be on public ways around Oak City Market, and some are going to be up on our high roofs, and some are actually going to be in some of our canopy areas. So we work with the police to give it full coverage. So thanks, Alex, for pushing us along in that direction. But I think that's going to give us a lot of coverage. And that area, that zone, we worked with Father Watkins, and we agreed to put cameras shooting down basically at that lot. Actually, really good coverage because there's a lot of gathering there. But yeah, lighting is important. That's why if you see the storefronts and all the retail, we expect, even though the retail expression is really on O, we're turning the corner of glass. because we think it'll help Eighth. If we introduce some of that public realm along Eighth, we think that'll help that street.
I would add to your question about the infrastructure. I recently met with DDOT, and I think we're exploring several interesting ways to leverage the infrastructure that we've put in place for City Market and O to make this development's infrastructure and streetscape more attractive. So that's just a follow-up to, we're trying to hit a home run here.
But we'll be able to download all that information, get all the information to you all in advance. Obviously, and we'll seek your support for the application once it becomes an application. And also any other comments or questions, or quite frankly, I don't want to take up too much time, and we have a big agenda, but if there's anything that anyone is concerned about as relates to our property or our neighborhood, please just let us know. We're there, and we have people on the ground, and we're constantly trying to make it better. So whatever we can do. So.
I truly appreciate that there's going to be cameras. I think that's important. And I applaud you for taking that into consideration and having that as part of the program. I really believe that that's very, very helpful, especially in some of these neighborhoods where, because of the cameras, we're able to assist the police in a lot of ways, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Especially send some cameras, shine some cameras over to 7th Street.
We are. We're actually out in City Market. They'll be shooting down 7th Street.
Oh, they do that,
And
okay.
particularly over
So
to
they
the-
take care of it already?
Yeah, particularly over to the Kennedy Rec Center area and different spots. We've also been working with the council member to activate Kennedy Rec Center with more events, because we think that the park being used by more events will actually be a positive thing. So we're also working with different organizations that are already stakeholders there and how best serve and best try to operate. The other thing to keep in note, there is a part of our proffer on this project. There was money set aside to help retail attraction and retention throughout Shaw. So we'll be working with Shaw Main Streets, we'll be working with other organizations to find best ways to promote retail activity through Shaw.
Richard, one observation, and this builds on Norton's comment about lighting. One of the things that I have found in other parts of the city that really helps, in addition to the illumination that's provided by Washington Roads and Golden Globe lamps, is actually to have some lighting of the building itself. Is that something we can
Landscape
look at?
lighting.
Well, not just landscape, but like lighting onto the building, onto the facade. Is that something that we can look at?
We could look at that, and we could actually look at that in certain spots for O Street, for City Market as well. Yeah. There's things along 8th Street that, for me, I still think there's blanks along 8th Street, especially across from where the wine bar is going, Picaro. So we're looking at maybe doing pop-up retail or some things that create more activity. You think if 8th Street would become a two-sided retail street and maybe a little bit more vibrant. The other thing to note is 880P, which is our last building, is under construction now. And the crane will be going up in May.
First week in May.
Should have been April, but May. And we're very excited about the building. And there'll be retail, there's also going to be retail along 9th Street. So that's also part of the plan, and we're in the process of finding some really interesting concepts, things that are not already here in the marketplace that we think are be good for. But there will be traffic, there will be construction, there will be noise, and again, we'll be back also to hear your comments or concerns about as that building goes up. We'll be back just to make sure we're adjusting this. But yeah, we can look at lighting on the buildings and around the buildings.
Excellent. Thank you so much for the update. We look
Yep.
forward to hearing from you again as you get a little closer.
Great.
And we're happy to have you anytime you wish to give us updates.
Great, thank you for your time.
Thank you. 445 Ridge, is that it? Yep. 445 Ridge? we all got,
I sent them all electronically.
we all had
so-
email copies, so, just do your presentation.
Okay.
Excuse me, let me get
Good evening, my name is Brett Worthington, this is Matt Oppenheim. We're here on behalf of WA Development, our company. We completed the project on 437 Ridge Street, recently sold last week. And we're looking to do a similar project next door at 445 Ridge Street. We've gone ahead and we've got some support from the local neighbors. The new owners of 437 Ridge Street are in favor of our proposed project, and some of the direct other neighbors. We have some letters to present to you guys. We're looking to do a similar thing next door, and I can let Matt explain what
Did
we're
you say
doing.
473?
437 Ridge Street.
Say it again?
437 Ridge
Oh,
Street.
437.
Yes.
This says 445.
This proposal for 445.
This proposal is for 445.
Kevin, could you pass
Similar
those down?
project. The letters you'd like to
Yeah.
see?
Please.
The first letter is from the direct owners of 437, and the other two are surrounding neighbors.
Yeah, so I was informed by Brendan Myers that we're actually on the consent calendar for this month. And that's why we're here, but out of respect for the neighborhood, Michelle, and the ANC, we're still here to see if anyone has any concerns with the project. It's a 31-foot addition, approximately 750 total square foot addition, and it will not impact the sight lines at all of the street, so conform from a historic standpoint there, and that's, I mean, it's pretty simple.
So the only concern, this happened, so this is a very similar project to another project on the same side of the block. Almost the same, right?
Right.
Okay. So, and I don't know if Brendan can touch on this. There was a problem where the other project kind of went onto one of my constituents' area. Do you remember this?
We had to remove a fence at one point for construction just because it's along the property line. And we had a letter of support from Rachel.
Yeah, so this was Rachel's, I mean, so I don't want the same thing happening again if it has to do with the design. Do you remember the
No, it's just from
design?
working along the property line and a fence. I mean, when you're building an addition and working along the property line, we were.
But this was up top, the top part, if I recall. How it was designed, and it really kind of impeded on her side. If this, then this was a big
No,
drop
I
off.
think, I don't think that's, I think the issue was with the fence when we had to remove it and replace it. That was the issue, as I recall.
There was also, I remember the up top, and,
Yeah.
I mean, just double check with your drawings and all that, if it
Yeah.
goes onto the other constituent side, the upper, I just remember this.
We have to work very hard. It's a big deal to stay within your property lines and do the wall check and make sure that, we're only building on our property. Yeah. So, no, we'll make sure that.
And what we're proposing is, as of right, the total structure will be in the lot occupancy, will be 59.6% of the lot, so it's under the 60% within R4 zoning. We've spoken to the one direct neighbor already, this site, which may have a similar issue which we have with Rachel. When we do the foundation and the addition, we had to remove 2 sections of Rachel's fence, which we replaced, we put back up after our addition. We've already reached out to our direct neighbor for the new site and talked to him about, if we have permission to remove 2 sections of his fence as we do our foundation for our addition. And what we're proposing is the same project we did next door, so no different, it's all as of right.
So what about, so the 2 condo guys next door to that, on the other side, what number, what's the deal with those 2
Been
guys?
able to get in touch with them.
Is there even, is there only just one person there now?
I have no idea, to be
Okay.
honest.
Did you leave
I mean, we
something in
sent
there,
them
Noah?
a certified mail,
Okay.
and we've, tried to ring the doorbells there, but I mean, on both sides, they've been hard to get in touch with.
Yeah, the 2 condo units we reached out to, and Chris is the owner of the property on the other side. We recently met, 441 was recently bought by a guy named Matthew. He had advised us that Chris uses the house that's 443, which is next to our 445 proposed project, as a office, like once a week, and he lives in Virginia. So we've brought the letters to his attention, we reached out to him, we're corresponding via email, we just haven't gotten in touch with him face to face. But we'll do everything in our best.
Yeah, because as long as you tried with those condo folk, because I've lost track of who's there now, so I only think there's one unit on, but I don't know, I could be wrong.
Okay.
So what are you exactly asking from us this evening?
We're just here as kind of.
Historic
people.
preservation.
We were on the petition last month for historic to go through it, and we spoke to Michelle, and she asked us to come today. So Matt and I made a decision to postpone our review of historic, to give your committee the respect to show what we're doing, and that's why we're here today. So,
Do you need a letter of support or anything from us?
That'd be great.
it'd be helpful.
Yeah, so this is because they're doing the addition. They're not changing the number of units, still the single-family home, but you know, I can't even, people who live on Ridge Street, everything that happens on Ridge, I mean, nothing against Matthew, but it sometimes turns into absolute disaster. So this is why, like, they talk to the residents and all that, because it doesn't, Ridge Street does not have a good record with.
And one thing also to kind of show our company's commitment to the street, 445 Ridge Street was, I think, probably historically a problem property
Yes.
on that street. I imagine that you might have heard of that. When we bought 437, we worked with that family for about 8 months during our construction at 437, and they reached out to us to help with some repairs at their house. That led us into speaking with them, and our company actually went ahead and we took care of relocating the family to another house, and we held simultaneous closing. So we bought 445 Ridge from the family. We closed on this other property that we helped them. Our company petitioned up the money to get them to get the new property. So we really are committed to the neighborhood and benefiting the neighborhood. It was a win-win situation. Their property is in a state of not repair where they cannot afford to repair it. And so we were able to come in and we kind of gave them their, we are the developers, so we do want to buy the property. We went a step above and we actually posted the earnest money deposit for their new property they live in now prior to doing the closing. So I hope that shows up to me.
And that's great. When we trust, we appreciate that.
Well,
So
thank
there was
you.
criminal activity, to say the least.
Just so the audience knows, due to the fact that the nuclear summit happened and parking and getting around areas near the convention center was totally impossible, a lot of these things that are being discussed this evening are usually discussed in committee and not belong, you know, it's not a lingering thing. We had to cancel meetings because there was no way people could get to where we could have the meeting and park and bring their things in. Couldn't even get pedestrians up some of the streets. So bear with us tonight. This is an unusual situation, and I just want to share that because we didn't want anybody to have to postpone what they were doing in order, you know, because we didn't have a committee to make a recommendation. So I appreciate that you're all being very patient. Rochelle, do you want to make a motion?
Okay. I move that ANC 6E support 445 Ridge Street Northwest for the Historic Preservation Review Board request.
And the request is for what?
Historic,
The request is for the addition that
Yeah,
we're
for the
putting at the
addition.
back, which,
Meets all the qualifications?
yes, once it's done, it will be with a 59.6% lot occupancy.
Okay.
So underneath the 60%.
Okay.
okay.
Second.
Alex, Rochelle made the motion, Alex is seconding. Any questions from, or concerns from other commissioners? All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, so it's a 6-0-0 vote. Congratulations, guys, you're good to go from us.
Thank you very much, appreciate
You're
it.
quite welcome.
Thank you.
Before we start, is anyone here from Chaplains? Outpost is not coming. Ethiopian something or other? Okay. Okay, before we go to the ABRA portion and we listen to everybody, we have a person here from Department of Transportation. Stacy? Are you, which one of you ladies is going, or, okay, you have about 3 minutes, so we want to make sure that we get you in. Is someone here from Behavioral Management? Okay, thank you. And we have a minute before we get into the.
Hi, my name is Tina Scott Boyd. I'm on the community outreach team for the Georgia Avenue Dedicated Bus Lane, which we're launching on Monday, April the 11th. Andy Graff is the construction manager with the project as well. Well, effective Monday, we'll have a dedicated bus line that will run from Florida Avenue to Berry Place. We've been working with Howard University Hospital and Howard University in a community effort. The bus lane will be for buses, of course, charter buses, school buses, paratransit, bicycles, and cabs that have passengers. We now have a law that has enforcement, so it will be an enforced bus lane. Legislation went into effect in October, so it will be enforced. Done this evening?
Well, yeah, I mean, the projects, we've been under construction.
Where that
Where
bus
is
line,
it?
like Florida to what?
Florida to Berry Place.
Where's Berry Place?
Right,
It's 4 blocks north of Florida Avenue.
Oh.
It's really right the limits of Howard University. There's McDonald's right there.
Thank you. Okay.
But just quickly, we've been under construction since July, and that's why we're here tonight, is this is really an important milestone for our project. So we're activating the bus lanes, as Tina said, Monday the 11th, 7 a.m., 10 p.m., Monday to Saturday. So they're not in effect Sunday, which means you can park on the curb lanes on Sunday, as well as drive in the curb lane on Sunday. What else does this affect? Also, this activation doesn't mean actually that our project's over. So we'll start the bus lanes, and then DDOT's going to have a team out there that's going to study how the bus lane traffic behaves through the corridor for 6 weeks. Then our team comes back, and we're actually going to be putting down what's called a high friction surface treatment. It's a red epoxy surface with some aggregate. And what this is going to do is to help further delineate to show where the bus lanes actually are. And that will probably go about the end of May, very first week of June. Our team will be putting that down. At that time, construction will be complete. We do have information cards. This really has everything you need to know, what the rules are for the bus lanes, what the violations are, what a ticket costs. Has all of our contact information. I know our time is short. My contact information, our website. I also have a field office on Dudley Street. So please, I mean, feel free to contact us at any time. Again, I know time is short, but our team will be in the back. Feel free to ask us any questions that you have. Please take advantage of that.
also, we did a streetscape, project, ADA compliant, with sidewalks, and, Florida Avenue to Berry Place.
So it's 4 blocks.
4 blocks.
So it's the curb lane with both the northbound and the southbound lane, so one in each direction.
This is a pilot project. Over 20,000 passengers travel that route on buses daily. So this is like a pilot, I guess, to look at other, and take the study for other areas in the city.
So this is addressing that choke point there, because
Yes,
the
choke
north of
point.
Barry and south of, okay.
Exactly. There was a study done in 2007. It found that that specific corridor is one of the slowest for both the 70 and the 79. So this will help that, and also give DDOT the information they need for further bus improvements.
I take the 79 bus all the time down the road. The choke point is also between Rhode Island Avenue and also Florida Avenue. So why not bus lane all the way through there? I mean, like I said, I catch 79 all the time.
Right.
Heading uptown.
Right. I really
So,
just
mean, you know, we did
represent the
that-
construction
we did it,
portion
I
of the
see it.
project. I mean, that's something we can certainly, discuss with DDOT. And I think this is from their study in 2007. They saw that this was the worst portion, and that this will provide them with the information they need to move forward with further improvements.
Well, like I said, I ride the bus all the time. And between that section between Rhode Island Avenue and Florida Avenue, it's a big problem.
Also, the fines, there's a $200 fine, driving in the bus lane outside of the allocated 40-foot turn area, and for unauthorized vehicles that are parked. So we'll be enforced.
Oh, that's good to know, thank you for the info.
I mean, the drivers, will they estimate what 40 feet is?
There's not a sign, but there is the pavement markings. They go from a double solid line between the general purpose and the bus lane to a dash white line, so that you can get in the bus lane and make your right-hand turn.
It would be helpful the next time you print something up like this, that you actually show that differentiation so people know what to expect.
as far as the,
Yeah, it's just because it's crazy and people won't, necessarily be able to judge 40 feet. I know I can't.
Just to have a text description, a picture's worth 1,000 words.
Martin, question?
Yeah, is there gonna be camera enforcement for that, for those fines?
No,
there is not at this time now.
Is it likely that there's gonna be camera enforcement, or is it gonna be somebody out there giving tickets?
we don't know. That's incomplete.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you very much. We
And again,
appreciate
please,
your
we'll be
taking
available
so
for any
long.
questions in the back.
Great, thank you so much. It's 11:25?
He's coming,
But he's not here yet.
He's not here yet.
Okay. We have 3 license Abra license renewals this evening. The first is Chaplin's, 1501 9th Street. Alex, that's you?
Chaplin's Restaurant, formerly Mandalay at 1501 9th Street Northwest, is scheduled to have their liquor license reviewed. We have had a number of complaints related to both trash issues and noise issues that have not been addressed by the establishment, despite numerous attempts to do so. I know that the Civic Association in the neighborhood, the Central Shore Neighborhood Association, has voted to protest their liquor license renewal. And I'm going to ask ANC 6E to also protest so that we hopefully will get the applicant's attention so that we can finally address these long overdue issues and get them to be good neighbors again.
What's their problem?
Sorry?
What's their situation there?
They want an, they want
No,
outside?
so no. This is just a renewal. It's just a license renewal. So the issues are that they are not handling their trash appropriately. I can show you daily photographs that are being taken by the neighbors every morning with the overflowing trash that's all over the parking pad. And the trash dumpster is never closed properly. The trash bags are all over the place. The rats are out of control.